This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the Amazon Basics 20-inch Hardside spinner, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So the exterior of this thing is made of ABS plastic, and as you can see, I don't say gets marked up pretty easily, but it's got like different fingerprints and all this different kind of stuff on it right now. So far it's held up pretty well, at least like durability wise. I do worry long term, it's not the most like durable hard-sided luggage that we've had here at Pack Hacker, but so far nothing to report. I did treat it pretty roughly on a trip to Boston, and it is doing okay so far. So nothing really to report there. Pretty easy to clean too. I just kind of left all this here so you could see what it looks like. Got a little Amazon Basic logo up here, but that really is all of the branding other than on these zipper pulls around the outside. Talking about the zippers, we have unbranded zippers on both the compression area, step up just so you can see them there, and on the main compartment zipper. I always get a little bit wary of zippers that aren't from a name brand, but no issues to report here either. I've had other Amazon Basic stuff with what I would assume are these same zippers and have not had an issue with them so far. So flipping this up, I should actually mention before I dive into too many other features, the colorways that this comes in right now. I'm just gonna look at my notes real quick to make sure I don't miss any. Black, which is this one, light blue, navy blue, and orange. So you've got a couple, more sleek colorways, and you've got the orange, which is really poppy. So they might add more, who knows. We've got a handle here on the top and then the same handle here on the side, so you can access it whether you're trying to load it up into the bin, take it out of the bin, under a bus or something like that. So it's pretty flat when you're not using it, and it kind of, let me flip it over actually. When you grab onto it, these kind of shift and you have a little bit of bend there, so it's easier to get your hand under there. Not the most comfortable, but it stays out of the way and it's pretty durable. I saw these things get whacked a few times while I was loading and unloading it, so doing pretty well there, at least in my personal opinion. I should also flip it over and show you these wheels. So far, the wheels work pretty well, but I am worried about long-term durability. They don't feel like the hardest plastic, but again, nothing to really report. They do pretty well on bumpier surfaces like cobblestone streets or something like that. I took this to Boston and some of the streets weren't, they're kind of old, It did okay, they're a little bit bouncy, but nothing to report durability-wise. They've done well. I just worry just feeling them and having used a lot of gear, they worry me a bit, but nothing to report so far. We have feet on this side here, 4 feet here. So if you were to set it on its side, you have a little bit of elevation there. So if you are able to choose how it's sitting, you do that. So that way this hard-sided outside is not getting hit so much. And I should mention that the size of this thing is, let me make sure I get it right, is 14.76 inches by 9.45 inches by 21.46 inches. And that is just bigger than Delta. And I took this on Delta and they let me through without an issue, but depending on your airline, they might stop you and make you check this bag. If you are finding this video helpful so far, make sure you throw a like on this video and subscribe to the channel so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. So when it comes to the handle here, this isn't the most comfortable handle, as you'll see when I come closer back to the camera, but it gets the job done. It's a bit shaky, as you can probably see. I'll hold this. It moves around a bit, but while you're rolling it, it doesn't do that, and it has 3 different heights. So this one's pretty good for me personally. I'm just over 6 foot, and this one's good for me, maybe even a little bit too tall. You get the next one down, feels a little bit too short for me, so I personally would have wanted something in the middle, but this is fine for me. And then down one more, you have down here, which is good for our shorter viewers, and then back down to the bottom. So something else about this pack is it's not the thickest material on the exterior, but when it is full, I did sit on this a few times. Not sure how well you could see me, but I'm sitting on it right now. And if you have less stuff in there, it's gonna bend more because that material isn't as thick. But overall, I found that this thing, it moves around pretty good on 4 wheels. The transition between 2-wheel to 4-wheel is not as seamless as it has been with other, it's a little bit of carpet right here, so it's kind of hard to show you, as seamless as it is with other packs that I've tested, but it does pretty well, I think. Again, durability-wise, I am concerned about those wheels, but nothing to report yet. Here's a quick peek at that handle. I know I didn't show you it super well earlier, so just a button on the top, and that's how you roll it. And then when you're done rolling it, you're ready to go inside. So before we dive too far inside, this is the compression zipper right here. So you pop this open and you gain about 2 inches of space, which is pretty good if you ask me. But if you are doing that, you're gonna run the risk of, again, the bag being too big for your airline, and then you may have to check the bag or pay to check the bag, which would be no good. But it is nice to have that if you are going somewhere where you're gonna bring home souvenirs, food, whatever. But getting into the bag itself here, open this up and flop it open. So I've got a very wide variety of gear inside of here. we'll kind of break it up into the two different sides. So over here on the right side, we have this kind of compression system, and it kind of opens a little oddly. It's like it looks like it's a button, but it's not. You kind of have to like open it and then it slides through like that. It's not the most intuitive, but once you get used to it, it's pretty quick to do, and I never had it come undone when I didn't want to, but I don't know, seems like it could have been a little bit better done. This is elastic, as you can see, so it does kind of compress stuff, but it does attach here near the top. So if you don't fill this up, it's not going to compress down. So it isn't my favorite. You really have to put big stuff over here, which as you can see, I did. We have a camera cube here and some shoes. So these aren't sneaking through the holes or anything like that. But if you have smaller gear, it could. And then, I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. It's zipped closed, but it can kind of just get a little bit messy going forward. So as you can see, no organization here. We do have a zippered compartment here, and as you can see, this kind of comes up more than it should. And literally right when I got this pack, I was just kind of inspecting things, taking note of the materials, and I grabbed this to like just look at the zipper, and like I didn't pull it or anything, and the glue came undone. As you can see, like there's just a little bit of glue right there, and like this is supposed to be secure here, and it just popped off. I don't think this is going to be an issue with the one you buy, but it's just kind of a look into the quality control issues that Amazon, well, not even an Amazon Basics, just a company that produces so much of something may have. So it didn't affect my usage really, but I am worried that more of this is going to come undone with time. As you can see, I'm pulling on it pretty hard right now, and it's not, but just something to know. And that kind of deterred me from using this pocket because I don't think anything was going to happen, but I was just kind of worried that, I don't know. I really don't know what I was worried about, but I was just like, well, it's broken. I don't want to use it. But you have a nice little small pocket here. No organization inside of anything, obviously, but you could stow, some toiletries there or something like that. But I'm going to attach this just so you get a kind of a look at it. As you can see, it kind of hovers here. So if you don't have this thing fully packed out, like it's not really doing that much, and there's big holes for smaller gear to pop out. So big stuff over here, so it can be like secure down. If you have big packing cubes, they'll work over here as well. But moving to the left side, as you can see, we have these two organizers on this lid here. So when I took this to Boston, I didn't take a tech pouch. So I kind of just put my chargers and stuff over here, and on my way there, I had my battery bank in here, but on the way back, I had too much stuff inside of here, so it was really hard to fit a battery bank in here because it was kind of pushing up on it. And I just ended up putting that in my sling that I was taking on the plane. So pull all this stuff out of here, just 3 cables, and then the 2 wall chargers here. So those fit in there really easily. I don't have a ton behind it right now, but it was no problem sliding them in. And then this side just a little bit more tech, if you could call it that. This is a speaker and then a disposable camera. So not very modern tech here, but still fun to take on a trip. And then there's the field notes. You can put a passport in here. Really flat items do well here. Bulkier things. I have a really big battery bank, and that's why it was difficult for me to put it in here. It's one of the Anker PD 20,000. So it's a big battery bank, and that's probably why I had an issue on the way back. But I really like that this has the separation here, and this is kind of a good duality for me because this is like, big clunky items, then you can put smaller stuff over here, or you put big items here too. As you see, I have packing cubes here, but just a big open area. Got a sling in here to wear on the plane, my packable rain jacket, and then 3 packing cubes loaded inside of here. So quite a bit of space here, and you can put things that you're maybe a little bit, I don't say more worried about, but don't want moving around as much because it is secured like this. It can't come out because of the zipper, whereas this things could kind of pop out. So good storage here. It's very basic storage to me. It's nothing innovative or anything like that. But for the price point, I think it does pretty well. And that's kind of how I feel about this bag in general. It's not anything to write home about, but it's going to get your gear from point A to point B. And so far, no issues with durability, especially if you take care of this thing, it's probably going to last you. But if you're more rugged on your gear, it might not last you as long. So there you have it, the Amazon Basics 20-inch Hardside spinner. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.